Yo, what's going on? What's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, tbkc, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. Man, I tell you what, I had a great interview. Well, technically it wasn't an interview. The young man got with me, and it was for a what are these things called? The mediation. Young man named Gerard, or I'm sorry, I think it was Gerard, it might have been Jared. But anyway, cool dude, but it was totally unexpected because generally when people do the whole interview thing with me, right? Or the consultation, they want to talk about pedigrees, kennel setups, the best way to, you know, set your setup up to get rid of waste and all these different things. But you know, he he hit me up with a thing like, why do you hate to sell dogs, man? And it was sort of strange. It caught me off guard. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, you know, I can tell by some of your things, and I follow other people's pages, and you don't always post what you have for sale and this and that and the other. And first of all, if I come off that way, I don't. But I mean, I don't really dislike it, but it's a tough thing, and I'll give you my answers to him as to why selling dogs is tough. It's not actually about sales. You know, a lot of breeders, I'll put it that way, if they just want to get rid of the dogs really fast, I mean, or whatever, a lot of them can do it, you know. Bottom line, a lot of them can do it because they can just, you know, advertise. And I mean, not to make it seem like it's that easy, but you know, it's not really hard to find someone to buy a puppy. Not in this day and age. The hard part becomes to find the right person to buy a puppy. And those who have talked to me, they'll know. My main concern is, of course, that you're not trying to breed any of my dogs to exotics or screwed up dogs. Ding, 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 ding. And my second thing is are you going to keep the dog? Is the dog going to be with someone who can spend time with it? Is the dog going to be, you know, in a more stable home? And I know some people hate that question because we fall in love overnight and we're just with our new girlfriend or new boyfriend and we're moving together. And now I would tell you, not that I hate on people who are new love or anything like that, because I have sold to people like that sometimes, but I like to find out people's history, you know, a little bit. I like to find out their situations. Me preferably, and I'm just being honest with you, I like people who've had either are single and been managing a single life and are stable in their home, just like on credit applications when they ask you how long have you lived there type of deal. You also want to find, you know, find people who maybe stable families. Stable family life is a beautiful thing because you know the dog is going to have a community to take care of it. Now, with all that being said, you know, it doesn't totally disqualify anybody, but you can sort of get a gauge. One of the big red flags for me is when people start asking me, how much do you think I can make off of this and that and the other? It's the total wrong mindset, you know. But being who I am, I love to get dogs that may or may not end up, how do we put it, taking pictures in Christmas sweaters and shit like that. Throughout the years, I've sold dogs to a lot of people who are just great family people. Even the couple that didn't work out the way that we thought it would, you have individuals who are trying to find these dogs beautiful homes. One brother even had to repossess the dog after he found it a home because it wasn't suitable. So, you know, you get people who care about the dogs. I work with rescues, and I see the conditions that sometimes people put their dogs in and the ugly way that the dogs get treated and different things like that. And you want to avoid that by all costs. You want to go forward and move forward in a fashion that will have your dogs in the best possible position to maintain and not end up in those situations or to be abused or mistreated in any kind of way. That is sometimes why I bite my lip a little bit, and I always say must be approved. And you do turn people down, you know. I'm oftentimes, if you talk to me, I'll refer you to somebody else who may have a different type of dog that you're looking for. I'm not the person that you come to for XLs. I won't lie to people just to get a sale and say, oh yeah, this is probably going to grow into being a big dog. Most of my dogs are going to stay in there 17, at the most 18-inch range, but pretty much in the 16-inch range. And that's just being honest with people. Now, one of the other things, of course, when you talk to people, and I had a great conversation last night with a brother from California, I do believe. And it's always great to see a person who's interested in your dogs and they're sending you videos of their dogs exercising and being trained and those things, because that this is this dog's lifestyle. A very, very, very good owner who's taking the time with their dogs. That's the type of thing you want. You never mind when those people have questions for you. And hell, I'm just being honest with y'all, sometimes they might not buy anything from you, It's not a big deal. The dogs always go. But you run into these people and you see like, yeah, that's the type of people that I'm attracting. People who want to go out and exercise with their dogs, people who want to do things within a family structure for their dogs. And that's very important, I think the harder ones are, and I've told y'all this before, and we're not going to skip around it, the harder people to deal with are the BS people, you know what I mean? Like, this is something, and sometimes people don't know that they're like on the BS line, but this is one of the things that you sort of have to do. Know what you want to get when you're buying a puppy, One of the things that always drives me insane is when people call and they're like, oh, I want this color, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this. I'm gonna be honest with you people. I know we would all like that. I would love to go out and get me an all black Denzel right now if somebody had one. Or I would love to get me an all black Mandela or an all black King Kamali. I love black dogs and never really have them, but I would love to have me a black dog. It doesn't work that way. So, you know what I mean? It's not a Build-A-Bear type of situation. The main thing that you should be concerned with when you're buying a dog is the quality. If you're looking for colors, my kennel probably isn't for you. And then even with that being said, you want to look into patterns. As a buyer, you want to study everything. So if I'm looking for instance for like a bistro type dog, I follow that type of blood. I follow those type of results. I'm not going to call a breeder who breeds, XLs and ask for a bistro dog. These are all sort of common sense things, but sometimes common sense is not that common and people don't do it that way. But, another thing that I would say to buyers, and this was actually a good thing that we did, and it was actually, he has a litter coming up himself and he wanted to prepare himself mentally by asking someone who's done it before. Another thing you always have to be prepared for is the people who call, ask you a million questions, and then tell you they are not prepared to buy a dog. This is the best part. The people will tell you if they call me, the best way to approach that if you don't have money, but you're wanting to know about the buying process. I had a couple people yesterday who were just like that. Like, look, I don't have money right now, but I love what you're doing. I plan on doing it. I plan on getting something from you soon. I'm gonna stack some money. What would my prices be? What would I be looking at? That shit's cool, man. I think the one that you will find breeders get annoyed with is the people who ask extensive questions, do all these things, never really letting the breeder know that they're not a serious buyer. And then at the end, well, I got to talk to my wife and my lawyer and my pastor and see if my job can front me the money to get the dog and this and that. Then you're like, come on, bro. Just ask the questions about the dogs. Hey, bro, what's that dog's pedigree? What's that this? And I know sometimes it's not intentional because I talk to people and they just don't know how to ask. And it's not about me. It's about talking to other breeders because, of course, if you talk to other breeders, they'll tell you. That's why you hear them say the window shopper thing so much. Know what you're getting. And another thing when you're getting it, and I'll use two dogs that I have example right now because it's easy to break down. Those twin, what do you want to call them? Tommy, Pretty Boy, Floyd, Maserati Rick. They look like all of the tries that I produce, which is very, very consistent look. And the blood combination is very, very consistent. The reason being, it's like a mix of Denzel and Bistro, lock and load, type of blood. It's a very, very good blend. So stop doing that, baby. So when you know that you're getting that type of look, you're getting that type of blend, this is what you're going to be pushing, you know what to expect. You know those two puppies have a very high chance of looking like Tommy-ish, Pretty Boy, Floyd-ish, Maserati, Rick-ish. You can look back on the pedigrees of the dogs and there's a history and you know what you're getting. You know the quality of those dogs that you're getting. One of the big problems is when you call and you just do the smallest amount of research and you leave it into the hands of the breeder to educate you on everything on a dog. Some people are just salesmen and they're going to tell you exactly what it is that you want to know instead of what's the actuality of the dog, and that's going to be a problem for you. You know what I mean? So do your researches on the bloods. What is your interest? You know, like I say, I attract a lot of people who want healthy dogs, dogs that can run, dogs that can be trained, still have the look. A lot of people want a dog that, you know, is in that body frame of either a Denzel or a Mandela or some of the other dogs that I've produced or co-produced that I post, and they're on the right track. Now then, some people just don't know, and they'll call and they'll ask me about XL dogs and bigger dogs. You know, I've had some people call and literally ask me about micros and different things like that. Those are not my style of dog, but what I will do in those situations is reach out to other breeders that I know who might have those dogs who are doing things the right way and help them out. You know what I mean? Try to lead you to the right water to do it. But I would encourage you guys all to stop following the heavy marketing and study the pedigrees, break everything down, decide what type of dog it is that you want. If something that people are producing routinely really grabs your eye, that is probably the place that you want to go to try to find a puppy that will be what you have. The breeder should be able to answer all of your questions. But the one thing I would do is I would tell you guys to always be cognizant of the fact that you know, a lot of these breeders, why they're so snappy, is they deal with a lot of people. And I think it's a two-way street, that sometimes people don't intentionally want to waste your time and all these other things. But at the same time, you have to remember when you're calling people, it's like going to a car lot. If you go to a car lot and you got a 300 credit score and you have no down payment and yada yada this and that and the other, well, odds are you probably shouldn't be asking the salesman to take you out on a test drive and put some numbers together on how much it would cost to get it and all that shit, you know. It's better to talk dogs. It's better to talk about the quality of life of the dog, the attributes that you're looking for physically and mentally and all those good things, and see how that works out, man. That's the best way to go about the thing. As a buyer, as a seller, you know, we have to be patient, but the thing is as a seller, you're also very, very much responsible for where your dogs are going in the future. Make sure that your dogs are going to the proper place and that, you know, that they won't end up in bad places where people don't treat them the best. Let's just put it that way. But thanks, Jared, for that. I appreciate it. It was a very, very good conversation. Hopefully you got some things out of our conversation and some tips. And, you know, like I told you, brother, be patient and be diligent on making sure that your dogs get to the right home. Until next time, much love. Peace.